Ticwatch S or E. This one in particularly, just the E. Get into today's video. So the Ticwatch E, there's technically two models, the S Sport and the E version, which is Express. This one is the cheaper of the two, and that's the main reason why I think this watch is so good. Not to mention they always have sales over on the Ticwatch site, which means it's one of the cheapest ways to get into a smartwatch, and I think this is exactly what this watch is for, or who it's designed for. It's simple in design. I just went for the all black variant. You can wear it with every single outfit, unlike some of the brighter versions that they have for the S model. It's just versatile, and that's what makes it so good. And of course, it being so cheap. It's primarily made of plastic and it's got a silicone band, which means it won't crack over time. And it doesn't feel like a cheap toy watch. It obviously doesn't have the metals or premium materials that other smartwatches have. But of course, when you look at the price, I think that's a no-brainer. And for me, smartwatches are all about how it performs, of course, how it looks. And as this one is minimal, all black, everything, it works for me. And of course, being cheap. Smartwatches have to be cheap because I feel you replace them every couple years. They're not like my Omega, which I've had for almost a decade and it's still kicking along. But obviously you gotta add a couple extra zeros to this guy. There's obviously a difference. So the Ticwatch E and S as well are some of the first smartwatches that ship with Android Wear 2.0, which has been a very nice refresh. Apps have been updated as well as gestures. It now feels like a complete experience, something that you should be getting, especially now as we head into this brand new year. On the other side of introducing Android Wear 2.0, we lose the fabled Tickle Strip, which was one of the coolest sounding names from last year, and it was a pressure sensitive strip on the side, which you could scroll through the menu system. Now everything is interfaced into the watch and it is fully touch sensitive. And going through everything, even when you're multitasking, running a couple apps, thanks to the MediaTek processors, everything hums along perfectly fine. It's smooth and fluid, exactly how I think an experience on a smartwatch should be, unlike many watches that I looked at last year. It's got a 1.4-inch OLED display, which means it has an always-on function, something that is super useful, and that's something that an Apple Watch, which is $400, $500, $600, still can't do, and I think it's one of the primary reasons why I have a watch on. It's to tell the time. Nice. Despite it being only $160, it still doesn't skimp out on the heart rate monitor or GPS. So all people that want to use this guy for working out, you can use it without any problems. Not to mention it's also IP67 certified. That's both for the S and the E. So no matter how much she sweats, this guy still kicks on like it's day one. And Ticwatch has passed on cellular connectivity. That's both to reduce cost as well as conserve battery life. It does have 4 gigs onboard storage though, so if you want to download songs to this guy so you don't have to bring your corresponding phone, I've got mine paired to my Pixel 2 XL. It's always nice to know I can leave this guy at home, still listen to music, and it's nice to be disconnected and not get text message notifications all the time. I think that's actually a bit of a plus. And probably the last thing that you're wondering is the battery life. And the one thing that I'll knock about the Ticwatch, and that goes for most smartwatches in general, is the proprietary charger. If you lose this guy, it's game over. Just to be on the safe side, I would probably charge mine every single night, but if you're a light user, only check the time, maybe a couple messages from time to time. You should be able to squeeze around 2 days of usage. Just be sure to have the charger with you if you want to top it up throughout the day. And that's kind of been it for my best smartwatch and go-to device of 2018.